Hi students, in our today's session we will discuss about the topic buffers. So what are buffers? Buffers are solutions that can resist the change in pH on adding acid or base. So these are the solutions that resist change in pH when we add acid or base. These buffer solutions can be of two types. One is a solution of a weak acid and its salt with a strong base. And the other one is a solution of a weak base and its salt with strong acid. Okay, buffers are solutions that resist change in pH on adding acid or base, and it can be of two types. It can either be a solution of weak acid and its salt with a strong base, or it can be a solution of weak base and its salt with a strong acid. So here are some examples of buffers, bicarbonate buffer, acetate buffer and phosphate buffer. The bicarbonate buffer consists of what? Carbonic acid and sodium bicarbonate. And acetate buffer consists of acetic acid and sodium acetate. The phosphate buffer consists of NaH2PO4 and Na2HPO4. Okay, so these are the buffers. Some of the examples of buffers: bicarbonate buffer, acetate buffer and phosphate buffer. So, I told you before that a buffer is a solution that resists the change in pH when we add either acid or base. So, let's consider this example. Here is an acetate buffer. So, what are the components of acetate buffer? It's an acetic acid with sodium acetate. So, when we add an acid, that is HCl, to it, what will happen? The HCl will react with sodium acetate and forms acetic acid and NaCl. And when we add NaOH to it, what will happen? The NaOH plus acetic acid gives sodium acetate plus water. Okay, here the same the components of the buffer is formed. So, a buffer is a solution that resists the change in pH on adding acid or base. So, what is buffer capacity or buffering capacity? It is a number of grams of strong acid or alkali required to produce a change in pH of 1 liter of buffer by 1. The buffering capacity depends upon the concentration of salt and acid or alkali, and the buffering capacity is a number of grams of strong acid or alkali required to produce a change in pH of 1 liter of the buffer by 1. Okay, hope you understand. It is a number of grams of strong acid or alkali which produces a change in pH by 1. The pH of what? The pH of 1 liter of buffer. And what is the effective range of a buffer? The range of a buffer means the range of pH within which the buffer system is maximally effective. It is a pH range in which the buffer system is maximally effective. It is most effective when the concentration of salt and acid are equal or when pH is equal to pKa. Okay, here it is applied in the Henderson-Hasselbalch equation that I discussed before. So, the pH, when pH is equal to pKa, the buffer is most effective. That is when the concentration of salt and acid are equal. Usually, the effective range of pH is 1 plus or minus pKa of the acid of the buffer. Okay, it usually varies 1 unit, either addition or subtraction of pKa. That is the effective range of buffer. Maximum buffering action is when the pH is equal to pKa. Okay, so just remember what is buffering capacity and effective range of the buffer. Buffering capacity is a number of grams of strong acid or alkali that produces a change in pH of 1 liter of the buffer by 1. And effective range of the buffer is a range of pH or pH range within which the buffer system is maximally effective. The buffer system is maximally effective when the concentration of salt and acid are equal, that is when pH is equal to pKa. The pH range usually varies 1 unit plus or minus of pKa. Okay. And let's see the uses of buffers. It helps to maintain the pH of body fluids, for preparing culture media for growing microorganisms, and for preparing reagents for various enzymatic assays. So here are some of the uses of buffers: to maintain the pH of body fluids, for preparing culture media for growing microorganisms, and also for preparing reagents for various enzymatic assays. Here is just a revision for Henderson-Hasselbalch equation. It gives a relationship between, what is Henderson-Hasselbalch equation? It gives a relationship between pH, pKa of the weak acid and the concentration of acid and base of a buffer solution. Okay, it gives the pH, pKa of the weak acid and concentration of acid and base of the buffer solution. Okay, so pH is equal to pKa plus log salt by acid. Thus, when pKa is equal to pH, when is pKa equals pH? Well, it occurs when the concentration of salt and acid are equal. Okay. So here is the derivation of Henderson-Hasselbalch equation, which I discussed it before. We know that the dissociation constant is equal to concentration of H plus into concentration of A minus divided by concentration of HA. So what is H plus? H plus is equal to K into concentration of HA by A. Okay, then take log on both sides. That is log H plus is equal to log K plus log HA by A. Multiply negative 1 on both sides, what will happen? Minus log H plus is equal to minus log K plus log A by HA. What is minus log H plus? It's pH. And what is minus log K? It's pK. So, pH is equal to pK plus log A by HA. Okay, this is the Henderson-Hasselbalch equation. pH is equal to pK plus log A by HA, where A is provided mostly by the ionization of the salt and HA is the concentration of weak acid. Okay. So, therefore, pH is equal to pK plus log salt by acid. Hope it's clear. So, here are the uses of Henderson-Hasselbalch equation. To find out the pKa of an acid if pH of the buffer and concentration of salt and acid are known. And to find out the relative concentration of salt and acid for getting a buffer of specific pH, pKa being known. To assess the acid-base status of a patient and also to predict the limit of compensation. So, here are the uses of Henderson-Hasselbalch equation. To find out pKa of an acid, to find out the relative concentration of acid and salt, knowing the other two values, to assess the acid-base status of the patient, and also to predict the limits of compensation in a patient with imbalance. So, what we discussed today? What are the topics we discussed today? We discussed what is buffer, what are the two components of a buffer, and then we discussed about the examples of buffers. Then about this buffering capacity and also the effective pH range of the buffer. Then we revised about the Henderson-Hasselbalch equation. Okay. Hope it's clear. Thank you.